What's up, guys? We are back with a full slate of NBA action here on Wednesday, March 5th. We're going to break down every NBA game tonight and a few of the biggest college basketball games on the slate. We're going to look at bets on the side and over-under, and make sure to check that pinned comment throughout the day to see if there are any changes as injury news and player availability is confirmed. Yesterday went pretty well, guys. We got off to a great start. We had Toronto +7. They eventually come away with the 114-113 win. That game winner did not look very pretty, but hey, it goes in. It counts. We had the Warriors +4.5. We jumped on that one early, got in there before the Karl-Anthony Towns news broke, and Golden State ends up coming away with that 114-102 win. So good stuff there. We had the Cavaliers -12. That line, got a little bit higher. Cleveland eventually comes away with the 139-117 win. They were messing around a little bit. They let it be close for a while, but eventually the better team pulled away. Our perfect night was spoiled, guys. We had the Brooklyn Nets +4.5, but just crazy stuff there from the Spurs. Not exactly what we expected. Did not see a 37-point game from Devin Vassell coming. So, unfortunately, not a perfect night, but a 3-1 night. We will certainly take that. Slam that like button, guys. Once we get to 1,000 likes, we're giving away a Stump the Spread hoodie to one random commenter, and subscribe to the channel if you're new. Once we get to 50,000 subscribers, we're getting closer and closer every day, we are giving away another hoodie. If you're a huge fan of what we do here every single day, you can sign up for a channel membership by clicking the little join button right below the video. Channel members get exclusive early access to all of my videos and get their names up on screen in every video, but more importantly, you'll get access to our monthly members-only giveaways. We'll be giving away a Stump the Spread hoodie to one random channel member on March 20th, which just so happens to be the first day of the NCAA tournament. All of our videos are sponsored by StumpTheSpread.com. We are a team of experienced cappers over there. All of us have at least 15 plus years in the industry, and together we cover all the major sports. Right now, our premium members are getting daily college basketball, NBA, NHL, and UFC picks, and Major League Baseball, our most profitable sport the last 3 years running, is right around the corner. Click the link in the description to head over to StumpTheSpread.com and see everything we offer, including free-to-use bet size calculators, exclusive free picks not covered in this video, and our premium top confidence picks. If you aren't ready to become a premium member, sign up for a free account to get access to our email newsletter, which will get you free picks straight to your inbox every day and updates on results. Just make sure to check your spam folder. Comment below with any bets you're looking at today or any other feedback you have for me, and I will personally respond every single day to those comments. As always, guys, our favorite picks will be in the pinned comment down below. Now let's get into our first game of the day. We've got the Portland Trail Blazers going on the road to take on the Boston Celtics. Portland comes into this game, guys, playing suspiciously well. They've actually now won 5 out of their last 6. They're fresh off a 119-102 win there at Philadelphia. So things just continue to work out for this young and pretty hungry seeming team. I mean, as of right now, guys, and we've got the Suns, looking, they've tied things up now with the Clippers in the fourth quarter. So maybe the Suns will come away with a win. But right now, Portland, they're, right there with the Suns. They are now, 4 games? Yeah, 4 full games back of the Dallas Mavericks. But the Mavs, that bad Kyrie Irving injury news, they could be free falling here. Portland and Phoenix could have a chance to climb into that play-in. And the Blazers are doing everything they can right now. We're liking what we're seeing from Anthony Simons. Scoot Henderson is playing well. Yeah, Anthony Simons put up 34 points in their win there against the 76ers. A lot of things pointed in the right direction right now for the Trailblazers. And I know Ayton being out isn't ideal, but Klingon stepped into the gap a little bit. He's doing some positive things. They have been missing Jeremy Grant. When he comes back, that'll be a big deal. With his knee issue, guys, he's technically questionable for this game in Boston, but there's a chance he could suit up. He has missed, 3 straight games? So this would be the 4th one in a row. It's knee tendonitis. So there's a chance he could come back. If he doesn't, guys, Sharp being inserted into the starting lineup, not the end of the world whatsoever. The second unit has looked pretty good. The starters have obviously looked good. And yeah, this is a team that's just playing really well at the moment. And they're going on the road to take on a Celtics team that is fresh off of a big bounce back win. They had lost 2 in a row, losing at the Pistons, then against the Cavaliers. They followed that up with a 110-103 win against the Nuggets, which I'm going to be super honest, guys. Watching that entire game, it did not feel like the Celtics were necessarily the best team, given who they had on the floor. They had injuries, no Porzingis, stuff like that. But they didn't feel like the better team. Felt like the refs were very much on the side of the Boston Celtics, which in home games, guys, that can just happen. That's just part of the game. But we didn't love what we saw from Tatum in that game. Did not love what we saw from Jaylen Brown. Didn't love what we saw from anybody on the Celtics down the stretch, except for, I will say, maybe Derek White. He played really well, made some big shots down the stretch. But other than that, it was kind of a comedy of errors out there. And the team really showed their lack of depth, when they have a couple injuries, which, in fairness, that can happen to anyone. The Celtics, they come into this game looking very banged up, if I'm being quite honest, guys. We've got every starter on the team on the injury report. Peyton Pritchard also on the injury report. So I would say basically the top 6 players on this team are on the injury list. So it's going to be a little bit complicated trying to figure out if these guys are going to play or not. Derek White listed as probable due to a lower back contusion. He took a pretty nasty fall in that game, so not surprised to see that. I guess he's going to be back, but we'll see. Drew Holiday, doubtful for this game. That continued issue there with his finger injury. Jaylen Brown with an illness. He's questionable, so even if he plays, is he going to be at full strength? Seems unlikely. We see Jason Tatum on the injury report with a shoulder issue. That's a big concern for somebody who tinkered with his jump shot in the offseason, has been shooting the ball really, really well. All of a sudden, a shoulder injury could derail that, but we'll see. He's questionable. I pretty much expect him to play here, but we'll have to see. Porzingis with an illness. He's doubtful for this game, so seems like he's not going to be out there, and I think the Celtics more than happy to hold him out of any non-playoff game at this point, and Peyton Pritchard, guys, he's probable with a right hip or left hip flexor tightness. So looking like it's going to be not the full strength Celtics. We don't 100% sure know who's going to be out there and who's not, but the odds makers aren't scared off. They've got Boston as 10.5 point favorites in this game. We've got a total of 224. Portland 18-13-1 against spread on the road, 18-8-1 against spread after a win. The Celtics 12-18 against spread at home, 11-30-1 against the spread after a win. Guys, the Celtics, they're a team we fade when they're coming off a win. They're coming off a win here. We love what we're seeing from Portland right now. They're pretty healthy coming into this game. Give me the Trailblazers here getting double-digit points. I think they can make this a single-digit game. I don't think they're going to win necessarily, but they could. Weirder things have happened, especially with Boston not at full strength. Next on the docket, guys, we're looking at the Minnesota Timberwolves going on the road to take on the Charlotte Hornets. The Timberwolves 34-29 on the season. They have won their last two in a row, but it hasn't always been pretty. The last two have looked fine. I'm not going to talk bad about a couple wins, but when you're beating the Suns and the 76ers, it's probably not time to celebrate too much, but they've got another easy one coming up here, guys. They get to take on the Charlotte Hornets. So we'll see what they get done here. Anthony Edwards putting up 18 points, Naz Reid scoring 23. This is kind of a team that anybody can come out and play well, and they are getting healthy. Julius Randle, Dante DiVincenzo coming back. DiVincenzo definitely makes his team better. Randle, he's had his moments. He's had his bad moments as well. So we'll see what happens there. Against the 76ers, obviously, there's lots of positives out there. A very good game from Naz Reid, a +12. Mike Conley, a casual +20 despite scoring only 12 points, but really good numbers everywhere else. 20 points off the bench from Nickeil Alexander-Walker. Not something you can count on every night, and you also can't count on the Timberwolves to shoot 45% from three. But hey, they played a good game. Gotta give them their credit. They definitely deserve it. This is a team with some talent on it, don't get me wrong, but it hasn't really meshed super well. It looks like they're going to be healthy for this game. The only guy on the injury report is Rudy Gobert, and he remains out as they go on the road to take on the Charlotte Hornets, who are fresh off another loss. They lost by 18 at home against the Warriors. They've lost, 6 in a row, 7 in a row, something like that. At 14-46, they are a terrible, terrible team. No reason to do a super deep dive here. They're relatively healthy, like LaMelo Ball. He's ready to go. The starting lineup is intact, but it has not looked pretty for this team whatsoever recently. We do see Nurkic on the injury report. We don't really care too much about that. So, looking at the numbers for this game, we see the Hornets are getting 8 points at home. We've got a total of 221.5. Minnesota 17-15 against spread on the road. 15-18 against spread after win. They are 6-5 against the spread on no rest. That win they had, was last night there. So we'll see who's actually available for them. I would kind of expect it to be basically everyone, though. The Hornets 16-14-1 against spread at home. 21-24 against spread after a loss. Guys, this has a good chance to end up in the pin comment as well. Definitely give me the Timberwolves here unless we get weird injury news that they're resting everyone, because this Charlotte Hornets team is absolutely terrible. Now, this number being so low gives me room for concern, thinking that maybe the odds makers already know that the Timberwolves are going to be resting guys. So keep an eye on this. It's probably not going in the pin comment yet, but I think it's definitely a game that should be on your radar heading into tomorrow, especially once we get clarity on the injury reports. Next up, guys, we got our first nationally televised game of the night. We got the Miami Heat going on the road to take on the Cleveland Cavaliers. The Heat come into this game fresh off a nice 16-point win there, but it was against the Wizards, so let's not freak out too much. Miami hasn't been having a great time. They're 29-31 on the season. Out there in the East, they find themselves in the 7th seed, a full 5 games back there of the Pistons in the 6th seed. So this is going to be a play-in situation for the Heat. Maybe they're fine with that. I'm not sure. But yeah, they did manage to get a comfortable win there against the Wizards, who did play, guys like Chris Middleton. He played pretty well. You saw Marcus Smart play. He didn't play great. And yeah, so just, the Heat took care of business. 3 starters scoring double figures. Only 16 there from Tyler Hero, but not a night where he played a ton of minutes. Only 26 from him, 31 from Bam. Alec Burks being in the starting lineup, probably not what they were planning there in Miami, but it worked out. And Duncan Robinson, a big game there off the bench, a +21, 17 points for him, despite being only 3 of 7 from 3. So some positive things there for the Heat, but this is going to be a much tougher matchup here as they go on the road to take on the Cavaliers. The Heat come into this game not looking healthy, really. I mean, Kel'el Ware, Andrew Wiggins, both looking like they're going to be out for this game. Is this confirmed? Yeah, Wiggins confirmed out with that ankle. Kel'el Ware confirmed out there with that knee issue. So not going to be at full strength. They probably won't have Davion Mitchell either. Is that what's being reported? Yeah, he's questionable for this game. So we'll see what happens, but it's not looking great. The Cavaliers, on the other hand, come into this game looking very, very good. They're on another lengthy winning streak, winning their last 11 straight games. They are 51-10 on the season. It's just, they're cruising, guys. They're cruising. They're fresh off of that 139-117 win there against the Bulls. They did mess around in that game a little bit early on. They were actually trailing after the first quarter. They laid it on them there late, though. So we'll see. It's a little bit concerning. None of the starters played more than 30 minutes, so they should be, fairly rested and ready to go. Donovan Mitchell only played 28 minutes, scored 28 points. That's pretty good. 3 double-digit scores off the bench. Javonte Green, Sam Merrill, Ty Jerome, all scoring in double figures there. And as a team, they didn't even shoot the ball that well, only 35.4% from deep, a number they can definitely improve on. So we'll see what the Cavaliers do here in terms of resting guys on the second half of a back-to-back. Right now, we don't know for sure. Evan Mobley has been missing time. He's been dealing with that, rest issue. So yeah, they're just sitting him out games here. They sat him out the first half of a back-to-back. So I fully expect him to play in this game, which definitely gives the defense a big boost. Somebody they can definitely have match up with somebody like Bam, or Jared Allen can do that as well. So liking the health situation for the Cavaliers at the moment. They're 11-point favorites. We've got a total of 227. The Heat only 11-20-1 against the spread on the road. They're 10-18 against spread after a win. Cleveland 20-11-1 against spread at home. They are 34-15-1 against spread after a win. That's an NBA best against the spread mark after win. Also, on no rest, they've been fine, guys. They're 7-5 against the spread on no rest. So it's a little bit tough to take a team as a double-digit favorite on no rest, but they're playing at home for this game. Their travel spot, I'm not going to say it's a big deal to fly from Chicago to Cleveland. So I think that's fine. I don't think they're going to be too fatigued here. Guys, I like the Cavaliers at -11. I think we see a letdown game for the Heat. They don't have nearly the depth you need to contend with a Cleveland Cavaliers team that's very, very deep. I think we see Cleveland come out with a comfortable blowout win. Hey guys, jumping in here with a quick ad break. This is a great time to sign up for StumpTheSpread.com. Signing up for a premium membership gets you access to our top confidence plays on all the major sports. We're currently covering NCAA basketball, the NBA, NHL, UFC, and the NFL. We have a team of professional cappers that work extremely hard putting in the research on these games every day so you don't have to. We make things very easy for you with pick notifications directly to your phone and unit sizes assigned to each play so you can see where our confidence level is on every individual matchup. To test out the service before you buy, join our free email list, get the occasional free or premium pick straight to your inbox. Just click the link in the description to sign up for a free account. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel if you're new. Now guys, back to the games. Rolling right along here guys, we're looking at the Utah Jazz going on the road to take on the Washington Wizards. Kind of a bit of a toilet bowl here if you ask me, two of the worst teams out there. The Jazz 15-46 on the season. A lot of their problems are self-inflicted. I mean, they just got blown out by nearly 30 points there against the Pistons, but in that game, guys, we saw Filipowski lead the way. We didn't see most of the best players there for the Utah Jazz, and that's kind of what we're getting used to at this point. They are not playing guys, and that's kind of the goal. They want to lose as many games as possible, get as many shots as they possibly can have at the Cooper flag sweepstakes. So we'll see what they do here, see if they try, see if they play guys. Right now, the injury report looks like they won't be. We see Sexton, Markkanen, John Collins, Walker Kessler, all there on that injury report. So yeah, Collins, Sexton guys ruled out for Wednesday's game against the Wizards due to ankle injury management. Markkanen with his back issue ruled out as well. John Collins with a back issue ruled out as well. You guys kind of get where this is going, guys. Walker Kessler ruled out for rest. So not going to be the full strength Jazz here as they go on the road to take on the Wizards, who are fresh off of that 16-point loss there at the Miami Heat. So that probably doesn't feel great. Doesn't look like they're going to have Jordan Poole. They could not have Keyshawn George for this game. Malcolm Brogdon obviously still sitting out. Like another team trying their best to tank things out. And yeah, I don't know who's going to win this tank fest or who's going to lose it, because the real prize for these two teams is going to be losing this game. I swear they got to do something about tanking the NBA, because this is very tilting to even look at. But the Wizards, 5-point favorites here at home. We've got a total of 231. The Jazz, 15-14 against spread on the road, 21-24 against spread after a loss. Washington, 15-16 against spread at home, 21-25-2 against spread after a loss. Guys, I'm not really interested in being on this game in a big way just because neither one of these teams want to win right now. If you're forcing me, go ahead and give me the Wizards here at -5 since they're playing at home, but really, this is pretty much just a pure stay away spot for me. Rolling right along, guys, we are now looking at the most unfortunate franchise in the NBA in recent memory, guys. We got the Dallas Mavericks going on the road here to take on the Milwaukee Bucks. The Mavs have now lost 2 in a row and 4 out of their last 5, but that's not even the most important problem. Right now, the biggest deal is Kyrie Irving going down with what is now known to be a season-ending ACL tear. If you watched the video of that, it looked pretty brutal. I was very, very impressed and borderline touched to see him go out there and in the fashion of, like Kobe Bryant or Klay Thompson, suffering a catastrophic knee injury, staying out there to make the 2 free throws afterwards is pretty crazy stuff. But he did it. He knocked down both free throws, so good for Kyrie, but the Mavs, guys, are in absolute shambles. They're still 2 games above 500, but they are the bottom team. They're 10th out there in the West. They do have a 3.5, looking like it might be closer to a 3-game cushion there against the Phoenix Suns, but Dallas probably could be and probably should be falling out of the playoff play-in picture out there in the West. So we'll see how that goes, but it's looking pretty bleak right now. Really no reason for them to even bring Anthony Davis back. No reason for them to rush guys like Dante Exum or PJ Washington back, and neither one of them are going to play in this game. Jaden Hardy's going to be out as well, so it's looking like a skeleton crew situation there for the Mavs. Klay Thompson has to be feeling very, very cursed at this point, so he's going to get some shots to take, but I don't think it's going to be in very winning efforts. So we'll see what happens there for the Mavs, but it's looking really, really bad as they go on the road here to take on the Milwaukee Bucks, who are 35-25 on the year. They've won it 3 in a row, including a 132-117 win there at Dallas. So we'll see if they take things seriously here. Milwaukee, a team that, doing their best to, hold on to that 4 seed. They're tied with the Pacers, 1 game up on the Pistons in what is basically a 3-team race there to see who's going to get home court advantage with that 4th spot out there in the East. So we'll see what happens there. The Mavs obviously playing pretty well there against the Hawks, but they are playing on, was that on no rest? Did they play that game last night? I can't, they played that one on March 4th. So they're playing on no rest here in Milwaukee. It can get a little sketchy with Giannis. They don't always play him on back-to-back nights. Same situation with Dame. I mean, they're a very veteran team, and they played pretty heavy minutes. Like, Giannis played 34, Dame played 36. This was not a walkover win that they got against the Hawks. So, going to be keeping up on that injury report. Milwaukee, guys, I mean, right now, currently, they're not listing everybody that you would expect, to see on an injury report playing on back-to-back nights. Like, nobody's on there right now. So, gonna have to stay tuned for an updated injury report. Right now, Milwaukee, 9.5-point favorites at home. We've got a total of 225.5. Dallas, 13-15-2 against spread on the road, 16-12-1 against spread after a loss. But those numbers are really meaningless, guys. This is a completely different team that's lost effectively their best 3 players. Like, you lost Luka, then you got AD, lost him. Then you have always had Kyrie, you lost him as well. Milwaukee, 15-13-1 against spread at home, 16-18-1 against spread after a win. They are an NBA worst, 2-8-1 against spread on no rest. Guys, I'm leaning towards the Mavs and the points in this one. I think we're going to see a crazy max effort game from all the players that are still left on the roster. I think they're going to make this very competitive with a very tired Milwaukee Bucks team. Now, are the Mavs a team we're going to be wanting to back very often at all the rest of the way? Most likely not. But this is a spot, I think we have a little bit of an emotional response in the locker room, and I think they keep this game competitive. Rolling right along here, guys, we're looking at the Sacramento Kings going on the road to take on the Denver Nuggets. The Kings come into this game 32-28 on the season. They've actually won their last 4 in a row, taking down the Mavs, Rockets, Jazz, and the Hornets. Their little road trip here continues as they go on the road to take on the Denver Nuggets. Probably not going to be the easiest situation. I mean, when you're beating the Mavs in a game where, they're not exactly at full strength, guys. I mean, a blowout win there for the Kings. We saw the Mavs. That was the Kyrie Irving injury game, obviously. So, not an ideal situation there. Zach LaVine playing out of his mind right now. But, that's not against too much competition. So, we'll see if the Kings can keep things rolling here. This is a team that's, playing pretty hard down the stretch. They're in the 9 seed. They are only 1 full game behind the Warriors there for the 6 seed. So, they're a team that's going to be pressing hard, trying to win all these games, which is obviously very important. But they're in a little bit of a tough spot, guys, because they're going on the road here to take on the Dallas Mavericks. The Kings come into this game. We've got Monk on the injury report. Sabonis obviously going to be out here for a bit. Monk listed as questionable due to a right toe issue. So even if he plays, how good is he going to be out there? That's a little bit up in the air. The Nuggets come into this game fresh off of a very tough 110-103 loss there at the Celtics in a big primetime game. But I don't know, guys. I'm blaming the refs for that one a little bit. Like, Jokic getting absolutely mauled out there every single play. Bro shot 0 free throws. We saw the Nuggets shoot 13 free throws in the game. The Celtics shot 27. So that was the refs playing, guys. I don't know what else to say. Like, I don't call rigged. I don't call any of that. But you can just see, if you watch that game, Jokic is out there bleeding. Looks like a bear attacked him. His arms are so scratched up. Bro shot 0 free throws while putting up almost a triple-double. He was 1 assist short of a triple-double. And the Nuggets had plenty of chances to win that game down the stretch. So, liking what we're seeing from Denver in general. Right now, they've been playing really, really well. They're currently in the 3 seed, only 1 game up on the stumbling Memphis Grizzlies there for the 4 seed. So, they're tied with the Lakers for the 2 seed. Like, Denver is basically my favorite to end up in the 2 seed. So we'll see how things go for them down the stretch. They come into this game in terms of the injury report. A couple things are up in the air. First of all, we have to pay very close attention to Jokic being on there. That's a big concern. He's got an ankle issue, apparently, although there wasn't an obvious injury for him there against Boston. He is questionable for this game, so that obviously is a huge deal. We see Aaron Gordon with his ankle problem. He is questionable as well. So we'll have to see who ends up out there for Denver. And, because of that, this isn't going in the pinned comment, but right now the Nuggets are -6. We've got a total of 236. The Kings, 14-16-1 against spread on the road, 13-16-2 against spread after a win. Denver, 16-12-1 against spread at home, 11-10 against spread after a loss. Guys, if Jokic plays in this game and all the other starters are pretty much ready to go, I definitely like the Nuggets here in a huge bounce back spot. Aaron Gordon, he could be in, he could be out. That's not going to sway my decision at all. I think this is a great spot to end up on the Denver Nuggets in a big, bounce back spot after what had to be a very frustrating loss there against Boston. Next up, guys, we got a big, primetime showdown between the Oklahoma City Thunder and the Memphis Grizzlies. The Thunder come into this game 50-11 on the season. They won their last 4 in a row. SGA's been putting up huge numbers. I still don't think his numbers are better than Jokic's necessarily, but I would definitely see why there would be voter fatigue and he would end up with the MVP this season. But we'll see what the Thunder do down the stretch. Obviously, they've been playing great. Maybe not the most convincing win against the Rockets. 137-128. Against a Houston team that's been really struggling recently and definitely didn't put their best team out there. Isn't the greatest look. The Thunder are getting a little bit away from being the dominant defensive team that they've been at other points this season, but maybe they'll be able to lock back in on that side of that end of the court once the playoffs start, but we'll see what happens. Basically, it was the SGA show and Jalen Williams, both of them playing well, and the team shooting the ball well from 3 in that win against Houston. We'll see what they can do in this one against the Grizzlies. They come into this game very healthy. No Caruso, that is worth noting, but other than that, they're basically just ready to go here with, Chet Holmgren, Hartenstein. Like, this is a big, physical, and very, very talented squad. They're going on the road to take on the Memphis Grizzlies, who've now lost 4 out of their last 5. Jaren Jackson Jr. going down with an ankle injury. He's now listed as week to week. They just lost a heartbreaker there against the Atlanta Hawks on a pretty bad turnover, and I don't know. I was going to say bad luck, but it really wasn't bad luck. This team is just straight up bad in the clutch right now, it looks like. So, not loving what we're seeing from the Grizzlies. You can't be losing games to teams like the Hawks, the Spurs, at one point lost against the Knicks. Took overtime to beat the Suns. Like, just not looking that great. Not looking that great right now for Memphis. A team that looked really, really good at different points and is currently down to 4th out there in the West. It looked like they were going to run away with the 2 seed. Well, it doesn't look like that anymore. Looks like they'll be lucky to get it. We definitely know we're going to have no Jaren Jackson Jr. in this one. Santi Aldama on the injury list, but more importantly, Ja Morant. He's dealing with a shoulder issue again. He's questionable for this game. I don't know. It's definitely a bit concerning here. He's missed the last 2 games, and sounds like there's a good chance he misses this 3rd game. So we'll see what happens here. The Grizzlies are getting 8 points at home in this game. We've got a total of 250 out there. The Thunder, 16-12-2 against the spread on the road. They're 28-18-3 against the spread after a win. The Grizzlies, guys, 18-13 against the spread at home, but that's not a number that's been headed in a great direction. And they're 14-8 against spread after a loss, a number that has been absolutely nosediving. In the season series, guys, we've seen the Thunder win both games. They won by 24 back in December, and then in early February, they won 125-112 at Memphis. So they're going to be at Memphis again. See what happens in this one. The Grizzlies getting 8 points. I'm leaning towards the Thunder here pretty hard, guys. They probably win this game by double figures. No Jaren Jackson Jr. He's pretty much clearly shown he's the best, most consistent player on this Grizzlies team. Like, Ja's the most exciting, don't get me wrong, or he was back when he used to dunk, but not anymore. He's really, really struggled pretty much on both ends of the court this year, and I'm just not seeing it here from Memphis. Give me the Thunder here at -8. Next up, guys, we're looking at the Detroit Pistons going on the road to take on the LA Clippers. The Pistons come into this game 35-27 on the year. They've won their last 2 in a row and have been playing really, really great. I think that's 10 out of their last 11 that they've won. Their only loss was that 134-119 loss to the Nuggets, which we predicted. We'll take a little bit of credit for that one. We knew when that streak was going to end. But yeah, very good stuff from the Pistons. Obviously, a blowout win against a tanking Utah Jazz team. Cade playing really well, shot 50% from the field, put up 29 points. The whole team played well, but it's basically a practice game there when you're taking on the Jazz. They won comfortably despite shooting only 11 of 41 from long range. So that's probably not going to work in this game, although we'll have to see. It might, honestly, guys. I mean, Cade's been playing really, really well. They come into this game looking very healthy. Tobias Harris probably still going to be out. Is that a confirmed out? Yeah, dealing with some personal problem. He's out for this game. I don't know what's going on with him. I haven't seen anything on Twitter or anywhere. Guys, let me know if you know what the deal is with what's going on with Tobias Harris. It's a personal issue, so maybe it's not public knowledge, but I'm at least curious to see what's going on with him. But we'll see what Detroit can do here on the road against the LA Clippers, who just blew it, guys. They just ended up losing that game that they had well in hand against the Suns. Kind of embarrassing to lose to the Suns at this point, guys. They end up losing 119 to 117 despite having nice leads at different points in that game. And all of a sudden, things are looking pretty bleak there for the Clippers. I mean, right now, guys, where are they at once we update the standings here? Yeah, they're in the 8th seed. They're a full game back of the Warriors there for the 6th seed, and it's not looking great. It's not looking great. I mean, they were healthy for that game against the Suns. They eventually end up losing. Zubac putting up 35 points, 15 of 18 from the field. Dominant stuff. He was a plus 22 out there, but yeah, just not enough down the stretch. Bogdanovic actually played surprisingly well. His best game as a Clipper, I would say, but Harden, another poor shooting night. Kawhi out there, 37 minutes, but only 9 of 20 from the field and 1 of 6 from 3, and it just not enough defense there against the Suns. We saw Kevin Durant, after a little spat there with his coach, go off for 34 points to be a plus 16 and really be the driving force behind this win. So a nice win there for the Suns, a really bad loss for the Clippers. We don't have an updated injury report right now for the Clippers, but you can pretty much bank on it that we won't see Kawhi Leonard in this game. There's a chance that we won't see Norman Powell yet. Norman Powell's out for a while. Oh yeah, it was a hamstring. Yeah, he's gonna be out for a bit. They say 10 days at least, but it's gonna be longer than that. They do not bounce back quick from those hamstring injuries. So I would say no Norman Powell, probably no Kawhi, maybe no Harden, maybe no Bogdanovic. Like, this is going to be a skeleton crew situation for the Clippers, and that's why they're getting 2.5 points here at home. We've got a total of 219.5. Detroit, 20, 10, and 1 against spread on the road, 17, 15, and 2 against spread after a win. The Clippers, they've been a really good home team, 20 and 9 against spread at home, but this is not a great situation for them on no rest. They're only 4 and 8 against the spread this season. So, guys, definitely give me the Pistons here at minus 2.5. I like them here at anything under 8 at least. I think they get a comfortable win and cover here against a very far from full strength Clippers team. Obviously, the Clippers do have a cool home court advantage now, but I don't think that's going to be enough. Now, guys, changing gears here, switching over to college basketball. We're looking at number 13 Maryland going on the road to take on number 17 Michigan. Maryland comes into this game fresh off of I would say a pretty decent win there on the road at Penn State. They've been playing well, winning 5 out of their last 6 as they try and finish off their regular season strong. They're 12 and 6 in conference play, very high up there in the standings in the Big Ten. I mean, I say very high, they're in 4th, so we'll see how things go down the stretch or, in their last couple games. Derek Queen, obviously a monster. This is an elite offensive team, but the rebounding numbers, they're good as well. The defense is very, very good, but this really hasn't been a squad that's found tons of success against the best teams, losing against Michigan State, Ohio State. They did beat Illinois, but that win doesn't look as great. They beat Wisconsin. That win still looks good, I suppose, but they still have yet to really, really prove to me how good they are. And they're going to get a chance here going on the road to take on the Michigan Wolverines, who are 22 and 7 on the season. They're fresh off of a tough loss there against Illinois, a 20-point blowout loss at home for Michigan. Not what a lot of people were seeing out there. So we'll see what they can do to bounce back in this one. I mean, Golden, obviously a monster, 16 points, 65% from the field. You don't see that every day. This is another very good rebounding and offensive team, but the defensive numbers leave a little bit to be desired. Michigan, guys, they're 1.5 point favorites at home. We've got a total of 154.5. Maryland only 3 and 6 against spread on the road, 18 and 10 to the over. Michigan 6 and 9 against spread at home, 16 and 13 to the over. So we'll see what we get in this game in terms of the side. You can kind of pick your own adventure here. I would lean maybe slightly towards Michigan, but I think the best value in this game is just hammer it on that over 154.5. I think we see plenty of offense in this game, both these teams can get after it on that end of the court, and I think we see at least 160 total points in this game. Next on the docket, guys, probably our biggest game on the slate. We've got number 5 Florida going on the road to take on number 7 Alabama. The Florida Gators 25-4 on the season. They're fresh off of a big 89-70 blowout there of number 12 Texas A&M. So that has to feel pretty good. This team has been incredible all season long. Like, they're not as good as Auburn. I won't say that they're as good as Auburn. Obviously, trailing them in the standings. They did beat them at Auburn this season, so maybe I shouldn't say that, but it just feels like this team not quite on that level. Maybe they'll get another chance to prove it here, though, come conference tournament time. That'll be interesting to see, but Walter Clayton Jr., a monster. This is one of the best offensive teams in the nation. 5th in the nation total rebounding, a very good defensive team as well. So they're going to be going on the road here trying to take down, one of the better teams out there in the Alabama Crimson Tide, who are currently 7th in the nation. They're tied with Florida there for the 2nd spot in the SEC, so major seeding implications here. Alabama, they play Florida and then at Auburn to finish the season, so kind of a tough last couple games. This is, however, the best offensive team in the nation, 1st in points per game, 2nd in total rebounding. The defensive numbers not so great, so definitely room for improvement there, but we've seen big stuff from Alabama this season. Mark Sears, obviously a monster, almost 20 points per game, 5 assists, shooting over 40% from the field. So look at the numbers here. The home team is the favorite, guys. Alabama -3.5. We've got a total of 178.5. Florida 5-4 against spread on the road. They are 17-12 to the under. Alabama 8-6 against spread at home. 15-13-1 to the over. Guys, I'm siding with Alabama here at home. I think they give Florida a little bit of trouble with their insane pace, and being at home here, I think they can inflict their pace of play on this game. Is this one's going in the pinned comment? No. Is this a game that I'm pumped up to watch? Absolutely yes. So we'll see which way this one goes and use that information to make further decisions. Next up, we're headed to the ACC. We've got number 11 Clemson going on the road to take on Boston College. The Clemson Tigers 24-5 on the season. They're two wins and 1 loss back of the Duke Blue Devils there for the top spot in the ACC. Clemson, they've got Boston College and Virginia Tech still to go. Definitely both very, very winnable games. They've been playing great, guys. They're easily top 100 offensive team in the nation. They play very good defense. They can rebound the ball a little bit. I'm not in love with their rebounding. That's probably their bigger weakness, but with Chase Hunter out there scoring 16 points per game, shooting almost 50% from the field, there's a lot of things to like here about this squad. No doubt about that. A lot of very positive things to say about Clemson here. And they're going on the road to take on the Boston College Eagles, who aren't exactly killing it. They're 4-14 in ACC play. They've lost their last 2 in a row. They lost by 11 at Cal their last time out, so not exactly an amazing game. We do like what we've seen from Donald Hand Jr., although he's shooting under 40% from the field. He's still putting up 16, 17 points per game, so that's respectable. But overall, the offensive numbers of this team, not very good. The defensive numbers, very, very bad. So they're going to have their work cut out for them here. Even at home, they're getting 13.5 points, but I don't know if that's going to be enough, guys. We've got a total of 137.5. Clemson 8-3 against the spread on the road, 15-14 to the over. Boston College 7-9 against spread at home, 16-13 to the over as well. I do think this is a pretty good spot to just go ahead and take Clemson -13.5, but I also could see the over being a very good play in this. We see both teams score, in the 70s, or more likely see Clemson put up 80 and Boston College put up 60. That's not crazy to me at all. The last few Clemson games have been a little bit, the last one was at Virginia. We can throw that one out the window, but I think we could see this game be pretty high scoring and get over this total. Next up, guys, we're headed back to the SEC. We've got number 15 Missouri, the Tigers, going on the road here to take on the Oklahoma Sooners. Mizzou comes into this game 21-8 on the season, but they're fresh off a tough 97-93 loss there at Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt, one of the toughest places to play out there, guys. There's just no way around it. It is real rough to go in there and take on the Commodores. So we do find Mizzou in a bounce back spot, but also a bit of a look ahead. They do have Kentucky on deck, but I don't think they're going to be looking past this Oklahoma team, despite the fact they beat them 82-58 early in the season. Pretty much a blowout there. We've loved what we've seen from Mizzou. They're one of the best offensive teams in the nation, 8th overall, averaging almost 85 points per game. The defense is okay, maybe not elite. The rebounding is okay, not elite, but this is a team that can absolutely score it, and that's going to take you a lot of positive places. And will it find them another win here against the Sooners? Well, Oklahoma 17-12 on the season. They're fresh off of an 87-84 loss at Ole Miss. They're missing out on these opportunities to make big upset wins and give themselves a chance to just get that at-large bid to the NCAA tournament. But maybe they've still got a chance. We'll see what the selection committee eventually does. They got Missouri and then Texas on deck. This team, we've loved what we've seen from Jelon Moore, but I don't know, guys. The rebounding is just so weak. The defense is also very bad here. So look at the numbers. Oklahoma getting 4.5 points at home. We've got a total of 160.5. This is another game where I think the over is very live. If it's going to be a competitive game, both teams are 17-12 to the over this season. Mizzou 5-4 against spread on the road. Oklahoma 7-9 against spread at home. Guys, like I said, the over is fine, but I like Missouri here to win this game by at least 5. I think they're the far better team. You don't blow a team out by nearly 30 on accident. I think this is a bad matchup for Oklahoma. I don't think they're going to have a good time here. Give me the Mizzou Tigers on the road. Next up, guys, we're headed to the Big Ten. We're looking at number 12, Wisconsin, going on the road to take on Minnesota. The Badgers come into this game 22-7 on the year, but they're fresh off of a tough loss. They've actually dropped 2 out of their last 3. A weird loss at home to Oregon. They blew out Washington, and then they went on the road there at Michigan State. Obviously, a very tough situation, and they eventually lose that game 71-62. So now they get to take on Minnesota. We'll see what they do there. Not a team that they've faced yet this season. It doesn't look. No, not a team they've faced yet this season. So we'll see what we get. I mean, John Tanji, a monster, almost 20 points per game. This is a very good offensive team, guys. 29th in the nation, averaging over 80 points per game. The defensive numbers are decent. The rebounding numbers are okay-ish. Not my favorite, but we'll see what they can do here. They don't have too many rough games. I mean, they've got 2 games left. They go at Minnesota and then against Penn State, and they get to play that one at home. So they've definitely got their chances here to finish the season strong. They got to take down the Golden Gophers, though, who come into this game 15-14 on the year. They were 7-11 in conference play, so not terrible. They are in a bit of a letdown spot, though, fresh off a crazy 67-65 win there at Nebraska. So, like I said, a bit of a letdown spot. We've liked what we've seen from this team offensively for sure, in the person of Dawson Garcia, but other than him, the numbers don't add up, guys. A weak rebounding team, a not great defensive team, and they are going to have their hands full here with Wisconsin. We see Minnesota getting 7.5 points at home. We've got a total of 139.5. Wisconsin 7-3 against spread on the road, 17-12 to the over. Minnesota 13-1 against spread at home. They're a slight under team. Guys, I'm hammering here on Wisconsin. I don't know. I don't understand this line. If you think this is a trap, I don't blame you. It could be a trap, but we're walking into it. Give me Wisconsin here. I think they comfortably win this game by double figures. Next up, guys, we got some Big East action. We are looking at number 20 Marquette going on the road to take on UConn. The Golden Eagles have looked, unbeatable at different points this season, but right now they're 22-7. They have won their last 2 in a row and 4 out of their last 5. But when your wins are against DePaul, Seton Hall, Providence, and Georgetown, and you've got a blowout loss at Villanova mixed in there, I wouldn't say my confidence level is necessarily at an all-time high. They're going on the road to play a UConn team they already lost to once this season, so we'll see how that goes. Obviously, we liked what we've seen from Cam Jones this season, but his numbers aren't looking as great right now as they looked at other points this year, so I have a few question marks here about this Marquette team that really struggles on the boards. They do play good defense. Their offense is fine, but only when Cam Jones has a big day. So we'll see what he can do here on the road against the Huskies, who are 20-9 on the season. They're 12-6 in conference play, so 1 game back there of Marquette. They are fresh off a win at Providence. They have won 3 out of their last 4 with a loss at St. John's mixed in there. This team, I don't know, guys. Solo Ball, we love. He's playing well, but the rebounding, very weak for them. The defense, excellent. The offense, fine. The last time these two teams met, it was at Marquette, and we did see UConn get the win in that game. They shot a very unsustainable 12 of 19 from the three-point line. We didn't see, Marquette get the home treatment really at all. They shot the ball very poorly, and they got crushed on the board. So looking at the numbers for this one, we see UConn 3.5-point favorites at home. That makes sense to me. We've got a total of 144.5. Marquette 5-7 against spread on the road, 16-11-2 to the under. UConn 4-9-1 against spread at home, 15-13-1 to the over. I am going to take UConn here at home. This is not going in the pinned comment. I don't have a ton of faith in this spot, but I feel like, with home court advantage, they should be in good shape in this game against a Marquette team that doesn't really travel that well. Last but not least here, guys, we're looking at California going on the road to take on number 14 Louisville out there in the ACC. Obviously kind of a tough road trip situation there for Cal, but at 13-16 on the year, they need every win they can get. They're fresh off an 82-71 win over lowly Boston College, but it's been a little bit interesting here down the stretch. I mean, in this, that losing streak, they had that 5-game losing streak. They lost by 10 against Wake Forest, played a kind of competitive game there against Duke, but eventually get blown out. Played a very close, devastating loss there at Georgia Tech. Played things very close against Stanford. Played things very close against SMU. This is a team that's played a lot of close games this season, but to be 6-12 in ACC play has to feel pretty devastating. They're not a bad rebounding team at all. The defense could use some work. The offense also could use a little bit of work, but they do have their strength in there of being able to crash the board. So we'll see what they can do here against the Louisville Cardinals. It's going to be a bit of a tall task. Louisville 23-6 on the season. They're 16-2 in conference play, tied there with Clemson for the second spot in the conference. They come into this game winners of 7 in a row. They just took down Pitt by 11, so a fairly convincing win there. Chucky Hepburn, an absolute monster, 16.5 points and 6 assists per game. The rebounding numbers, fantastic. A very, very good offensive team that plays some solid defense as well. So it's not a huge shock here to see Louisville be big favorites at home. They're 14.5 point favorites on their home court. We've got a total here of 153.5. Cal, though, guys, they are 9-2 against the spread on the road this season. They're 15-14 to the under. Louisville 6-9 against spread at home. Not great. They are 19-10 to the under. So if you want to take under 153.5 in this game, be my guest. I think that's pretty reasonable. I'm not going to be on that though, because I'm going to be on California here, getting 14.5 points on the road. I think they're going to find a way to make this game competitive. Are they going to win? No. Are they going to lose this game by like 9? I think that's very, very likely to happen. Also, Louisville, guys, not really a look-ahead spot. They've got Stanford on deck, but I think this is a spot where we could definitely see them take their foot off the gas a little bit as they kind of coast through the end of the season and get ready for conference tournament time. Guys, that's all the games we have for today. Hit that like button for good luck on all of your bets and to get closer to giving away a free hoodie. Subscribe to the channel as well while you're at it. And most importantly, guys, get over to stumpthespread.com. Take advantage of all that free content, that free material we have over there as well. Also, you can check out our premium content if you are interested in signing up for a premium package. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate every single one of you. And we will see you guys tomorrow for more sports betting action.